Forgive my hair. I just got out of the shower. I wish I never watched Attack on Titan. Seriously. I love anime, and I don't think that is a surprise given the rest of my interests, but Attack on Titan is one of those anime that you really just have to watch. Obviously, you have all the rest of your battle shonen, like Dragon Ball and Jujutsu Kaisen, Naruto, all of that, like Bleach and whatnot. But Attack on Titan is, I feel like, one that stands up there wholly above the rest. Now, I like a lot of other anime, and Attack on Titan isn't even my favorite. But what it is, in my opinion, is one of the greatest of all time. Like, from an objective standpoint, I feel like. Because when you compare it to anime like Jujutsu Kaisen and Naruto and One Piece and stuff like that, Attack on Titan just has such a nice, tightly rich story with obviously plot holes. Every story has plot holes, like Reiner transferring his consciousness into his nutsack. But I feel like that's kind of a surface level complaint compared to what the rest of the other anime or manga that I read or watch get. Anime like Attack on Titan makes me wish I could go back in time and, like, seriously just rewatch it for the first time ever. I just got done watching it recently with my fiance, and she cried over, like, every character death, and seriously, it was, like, such a nice way to re-experience Attack on Titan through her. We're also doing, like, the same thing with Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's just not the same. You get what I mean? It just isn't the same as Attack on Titan. Now, my favorite anime slash manga series of all time is actually JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I think that series is peak fiction, but I am willing to admit, in comparison to Attack on Titan, given all my personal biases about thinking ghosts are cooler than big flesh mechs, I do think Attack on Titan stands above JoJo's Bizarre Adventure from an objective standpoint. Now, subjectively, like myself, I prefer JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But that is why I'm not making a video about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I'm making a video about Attack on Titan. Because if I made a video about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the whole video would just be filled with glaze that doesn't actually make any sense because I'm just glazing it because I like JoJo's. Now, when I first watched Attack on Titan, I was, like, really young, because obviously the anime dropped somewhere in, like, 2013, 15, around that kind of time, and obviously I was basically a fetus back then. So, when it comes to, like, what my first experience was watching Attack on Titan, I couldn't actually tell you that much about it, because I was so young. But obviously, as I grew up, and as I started getting more and more into, like, anime and manga, I went back and I watched Attack on Titan again. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I don't know if that was because when I was young, but a little bit older enough to start watching, like, anime and actually knowing what the fuck's going on the screen. I think it was because I was more into the battle shonen side of anime, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, obviously, you got your Dragon Balls, your Narutos, and shit like that, your Bleaches, your JJKs, even though that doesn't really come out then. But you get my point. I was more into that type of shit than I was whatever Attack on Titan was trying to be. And obviously, Attack on Titan has those elements. It never didn't have those elements for me. My hair is really fighting me today. And obviously, Attack on Titan has those elements. It's not like it never had those type of elements, but what it didn't have for me as a kid was that super high octane, like, everything, like, there's shit going on at all times. Like, it didn't capture my interest the same as shows like Dragon Ball did. Not to say that I'm a Dragon Ball LARPer and there was never slow moments in that show. I love Dragon Ball, and I loved every piece of that. I forgot to shake up my drink. Give me a minute. This is not Shrek's piss, by the way. It's an energy drink. I'm trying to cut down on my monsters and shit. Get me. One of the things that I've always held dear about Attack on Titan is the characters. See, that is something that I feel like a lot of modern day anime are, like, really sleeping on and like neglecting. The main one to me personally is Jujutsu Kaisen. I love Jujutsu Kaisen, but I've got quite a few issues with it when it comes down to the characters. They don't really get that much time to shine and talk to each other, and there's like no character moments, or little to none. The anime improved that a little bit with Juju Stroll, but at the same time, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to see more of these characters interacting and talking to each other and building the relationships and bonds that they're supposed to have, but you don't really get to see much of that now, do you? But Attack on Titan, it has all of that, and it has some beautiful sentiments that I really love. One of my favorite scenes that I would love to point out is, it's kind of like a tragedy in a way. I forget which episode it's in, but it's when the cast is in Utgard Castle, and this soldier, they've got like a few scouts, and one of the soldiers, Gelgar, is they're on their last wing, like, you know, they're gonna die. These soldiers, they're fighting for their life to protect the people inside this tower, and they're all about to die, and they're running out of gas. And then Gelgar, this soldier, he all he wanted throughout the whole episode was a drink. So he goes into the castle. There's a hole in the castle. He goes in and he finds a drink. He knows he's gonna die, so he tries to take a sip. Not even a fucking drop in the glass, dude. That shit hits hard. And it's not just because it's like, oh, he didn't get his alcohol, but it's like, there's like genuine like symbolism there. And it's like actually a tragedy that he, like, I don't know, Attack on Titan is just so sad in a lot of ways that aren't just like characters dying. And that dude not getting his fucking last sip of alcohol, dude, I would be pissed. So ruthless. I mean, it's just so, it just does shit like that all the time. I mean, people are dying, terrible things are happening, like, all of that shit is always going on at a 24/7 basis in Attack on Titan, and there's no stopping it. But I've gotta say too, not talking about like character moments with like Mikasa and Eren and Armin, you know, the three fucking musketeers, bro. Not talking about that stuff, one of my favorite things ever about Attack on Titan is the fights. I really do like the fights when they happen, especially the Titan combat. The Titans fighting is genuinely, seriously, one of the coolest things ever, because unlike a lot of other, I don't know, series, I really appreciate the lengths that they go with these Titans to make them really feel like Titans. Like, when you see like Eren and the Armored Titan, Attack Titan, and the Armored Titan like scrapping, they're like doing grappling and shit like that. And I don't know, I don't see much of that for modern anime. Maybe a little bit in Baki, but like, I feel like still to the extent that Attack on Titan does it, I don't see it that much in modern day anime. And I really appreciate that kind of shit, because you get to see all these like chokeholds and these like grappling techniques, and it's really interesting that it's not always just punches. I am also a very big fan of animes where the main character is losing all the time. Like, losing over every fucking triumph. Because I can relate to that. Like, if you put me in this anime, or this manga, or whatever, dude, you can give me as much power as you want. I'm probably losing too. And most of us probably would. Like, you're not some kind of tough, like, Fonk edit anime character. You with resolve, you're probably also losing. But that's the thing. They always get back up. It's like Spider-Man in Marvel, how he always gets back up. What makes him Spider-Man isn't that he has spider powers, but it's the fact, I feel like it's the same thing with Eren. And it goes as far as like, that's how characters see Eren in Attack on Titan. They see him as this guy with an unbreakable determination, an unbreakable spirit. And he is that way literally all the way up until the very end. Even throughout the rumbling, he's unbreakable. He's unshakable. It doesn't matter how much his friends try to talk to him. Even when he talks to them and he confides in them at the end in the paths, and he's confiding with them, he still goes through with it. He still does it. And that is one of my most important things that I think I like about Eren, because you see a lot of people, and my fiance, to be specific, really doesn't like Eren very much, especially after he went like evil. Debatable. I kind of agree with him, bro. I fucking hate Marleyans. Respect him, and I feel like you have to respect him to a point, because he's willing to do something that drastic. And that's also why I low-key like Flock a little bit, because like my fiance hates Flock too, bro, but like he was there till like almost the bitter end. And you gotta put some respect on a dude's name like that. I saw an amazing video of talking about Flock and his determination, and I don't remember the name of it, but if you see that video, that's what I'm talking about. Holy shit, dude. Flock is actually insane. If I could go back in time and watch Attack on Titan again, from like very beginning, I would. I really would, honestly, because I didn't get the chance to, because when I did end up coming back and watching it after I watched it when I was like 2 and I didn't even know what I was fucking looking at, I only watched till like season 3 and I hated it. I didn't like it. I didn't like Attack on Titan, like I said. But I came back to it like a year or 2 ago. Like, I don't remember exactly when the final season was airing exactly, but that's around when I came back to it. I don't know if it was as it was airing or after it was done airing, like right after, but I came back to it around that time and I rewatched it all the way through. God, I am happy that I got to do that and soak in like the content as not a toddler, if you know what I mean. But I don't know. I'm just talking.